Hi everyone, how are we all doing today? My name is Ifeoma Umeh and you're welcome to Faith and Entrepreneurship episode 2. So the first episode was really amazing. If you have not gone through it, you better go watch it. So today we're going to be talking about two basic things, and then we move into the next episode. I hope we've been getting value so far anyways. So firstly, we're going to be looking at what made me go into entrepreneur, and then the second thing we're going to be looking at is my first encounter with faith. So for those of you who have not gone through the first episode, it's actually linking, so I'd advise that you go through the first episode first before coming to this. All right, so what made me go into entrepreneurship in the first place? Actually, it was by force. Like all my life, I always wanted to be an employee. I've always dreamed of a big paycheck, getting that big salary, having my own house and all of that, being a manager of someone else's company. But then just by fire by force, I was led into entrepreneurship, right? So that was how I got myself in there, and I realized that I had to survive in it. But then in the long run, it became an amazing journey for me. It became an amazing journey for me. So what was my first encounter with faith? The truth is, my first month into entrepreneurship wasn't funny at all. It was really not funny. Because I could remember thinking of how I'm going to survive, knowing fully well that salary was not going to come in that particular month, and I thought I was going to die that month. But then the second month, that month I actually survived because I was still staying with my parents, right? So tips were coming in from there and all of that. But then the second month was when I heard about faith, and I decided that okay, this is something that would actually help me, and I decided to go up with it. So what was my first encounter with this? My second month, I also went on getting that result, like having that money from my business, having that paycheck to say from my business. And the only way I realized I could do it was through faith. And then the first thing I did was to employ my faith into it. Of course, it has to be a cautious decision, right? So what did I do exactly? I released my faith. The last time we said, okay, how are you going to employ your faith? And right about now, I'm going to let you know how we're going to do that, right? So like, how do you release your faith? Making that conscious decision that you actually want to do this. First of all, faith must have corresponding actions, okay? And without corresponding action, your faith is actually lifeless. So the first way you can actually release your faith is through talking. So I found myself speaking, of course not negative things, right? Like saying what I wanted in my business. And I'm sure somebody will be wondering, how would you just talk and then what you want to just come? Yes, that's actually faith in action there. All right, so faith inside of you is actually helpless. Okay, it's not enough for you to wish that this thing would come, right? You need to actually voice it out. All right, so it has to be released for it to have life. So of course, Acts chapter 3 verse 7 says that faith without work is dead. Okay, so I found myself saying what I wanted in my business, and what I simply said was, based on the line of business that I actually do, I was speaking forth humans into my business. I was speaking forth sign-ups into my business, and for that month I kept on talking. It did not look like it. It wasn't even looking like it at all. But then of course you have to put in the work. I was putting in the work on the other side, but I kept on saying I have new recruits in my business, I have sign-ups in my business. I was just talking. So lo and behold, I had my first sign-up in my, that was my second month in the business, and it was really amazing. I did my own work, made my calls, did everything, and then I remember inviting that person to the office on that particular day, and the person came in, saw the opportunity, and even paid cash, right? The person paid cash, and people were like, "Omo, how did you do it? Like, this is the first time I'm even getting, a cash payment sort of in that particular office." So it was really amazing. But then I knew that it was my faith that actually, worked out for me. It was my faith, right? So you really need to act on what is inside of you for it to be, for it to have life. So I believe we actually got value on this episode. Thank you so much for listening. So our next episode, we're going to be discussing the purpose of entrepreneurship in the world. Make sure you do not miss it. Subscribe if you have not, so that you get updated. Bye.